Good morning and happy blessed Friday. So I was scrolling through my timeline on Facebook and I found it so interesting that it has a way of keeping track of where you were um, each year, same time each year, so to pull up memories. And I was scrolling through the timeline, the memory piece, and it was so interesting because it was all about like transitions, right? Or coming to some understanding. And if I went based off of the way that Facebook or anything for that matter tracked where I was, what I can say is I have been consistently um, growing, trying to be and do better and come into truth and understanding. And so there was this one particular post, and it was so interesting. It has me emotional because I didn't think it would hit me the way that it did, but it has. And in this post, I guess I was at home and I was working, and as soon as I sat down, I was in the midst of a blackout, and so everything cut off, and I'm sitting there. Um, and I'm thinking to myself, I should just um, get in the car and go somewhere to go somewhere else and go through this with someone else. And I don't do that. And then in the writing, it says, I can hear all kinds of winds whipping and, people's outside furniture being blown off their porches and just noise, right? And then I'm going through the process of thinking, oh, I'm glad I didn't watch a scary movie because I don't know where that would have put me mentally. And then I even said something along the lines of, if someone came to the door, I wouldn't answer, right? So then it prompted the question of like, well, what do you do when you encounter things that are unexpected, right? But for the sake of honoring the fact that I was in the middle of a real storm, Um, and we could definitely apply that to life, right? Day to day life. That in any given moment, any given time, you can be hit with a blackout, an unforeseen situation or circumstance, um, and or having to sit in some things that are uncomfortable to weather the storm. And as I reflect back on that time, I find it so very interesting that every time, every year, or each time, every year around the same time, I can look in calendars that I have and I'll have similar or same kinds of appointments, right? Or be going through the same, if not similar, process. And while there is not a real storm happening, there is a process, a refining process, a process of understanding that I am going through, right? Um, and I typically say that control, which I seek to release, is the idea of control is the false sense of safety and security, meaning you think that if you can hold on to something or someone, um, you'll feel safe or secure, and it's just not true. And reflecting back during that time last year when there was a storm, it was so interesting that in the end, my answer was that not only was I where I was supposed to be, that I was okay, and that I would always be okay, um, and not leaning on my own understanding, right? That I realized that everything happens at an appointed hour, at an appointed time. It doesn't always feel good, right? But knowing that you are not alone, knowing that you don't have to lean on what you think, your own understanding, that the Most High will always be around, particularly to to call on Him and to lean on Him and to really invite the Holy Spirit in to guide you through each and every day and each and every process. So trust the process. Um, you're right on time, and everything you have or you need will be provided if it's supposed to be. So, just a thought. Thank you for listening. I love you. Happy Blessed Friday.